Yo, what it do? We bite.
Yes, sir.
Yo, we were gonna kick off with that fantasy football chat story from last week, but I think that just might have been like the culmination of a drunk moment, and we thought that it was like an epic story when it really wasn't.
Pretty much.
There was definitely details to it that was pertinent to the conversation last week, and it kind of just went off of the vibe of like that entitlement and how people feel like they're able to do certain things without considering the consequences or the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Because we were in that a chat, and then somebody kind of came out of left field in the chat and started with like some racial stuff that was already building to that just from previous tension that he had with people, and it just kind of ended up with like, wow, man, like how do you really just feel like you're in a situation where you can just say something like that and nobody's gonna address it?
Yeah. Mind you, this individual was kind of added to the chat. I think we lost a guy. And so this individual was added to the league and kind of just jumped in the league with that bullshit. It was just kind of like, who is this guy? You know what I mean? So, anyways, long story short, one person can ruin the whole vibe for a group of people. Keep that in mind.
That's a fact, man. Something that we preach all the time, like having control of your life and like even letting certain people in. Like people be thinking that that thing is like dramatic or something, like, oh, cutting people off, it ain't that serious. And it's like, man, if it's good to your life, it is that serious. You know what I'm saying? If it adds value to your life and eliminates a certain vibe that you just don't want to be around, and that's what it is.
Facts.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. That the people who feel they're too comfortable around you and you're not comfortable with them, you got to do something about that.
And what it was a fucking white guy saying the N word. All right? He just came out of nowhere and felt like it was cool enough for him to slide it in a joke because he felt like the conversation just let him throw that joke off. We don't even fuck with you like that, boy.
For
Fuck is
real,
wrong with you?
Facts.
Anyway, back to the good stuff, because it's been a hell of a week. It's been a hell of a little run even. And if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen that I announced that me and my wife are opening a nail salon, right?
Sir.
Get that shit up. Get
So
that
if
shit
you've
up,
been paying
man.
attention to the podcast, I've been talking about this thing for a little
Hmm.
while. It's that thing that I haven't announced. You know what I mean? The reason being was because we were still in the process of putting it together. I'm the type of person that I don't like talking about stuff halfway. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because it's been going on for you've been working on that shit for a
About
minute.
6 months, man. About six
Mm-hmm.
months, dog. But just so happened somebody told the place that my wife was working at that she's opening her own salon. So she walked in on Tuesday and they was like, "See ya." And we were like, "Damn, what's going on?" And we were able to pivot, found a spot for her to be able to continue and keep her clients. She was able to announce the shop and show pictures of what's going on, and everybody's been super supportive and has basically told her, "Hey, we following you." You know what I'm saying? She's super dope. She's been working extra hard at this and just building up her skill and her clientele, and she's ready, man. And it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, but at the same time she did have to, you know build build it up and build up her clientele and get that skill to get to this point. So it
Excuse me.
kind of just leads into the thing about like perseverance and timing, because that's a big thing that we've been kind of like coming across lately, especially even just when you even consider the podcast. Like when we started the podcast, we didn't really have so much of a plan as much as we just had a vibe, and we knew we weren't gonna half-ass it. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So like that whole, I feel like the even just being on point with the podcast has helped us kind of have like a guide or at least a reference point of like the stuff we're doing in our personal lives, like how we're progressing with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when you come back to the table again, it's like what do you have to talk about from the point of view of this is the Grounded Show. So what we talking about is like real life stuff, things that you could really take away in your everyday life. And if we're not out there basically living it, we don't got nothing to talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's just been a crazy time, like for everybody, starting with what I'm talking about. We're just embarking into a new chapter. Um, it's something that we've been planning for a while, ever since my wife, when my wife told me she was unhappy with what she was doing previously. I'm like, okay, so what are we gonna do about it? You know what I'm saying? The nails thing has always been something that interested her. So I was like, go to school full time, do your thing. It's a short program, and then you hit the ground running. And she's, been on top of it all the way through. And when she brought up the having a salon thing to me, I was like, hey, I mean, we can make it happen if you're serious about it, and you hit these benchmarks that you have internally. We make it happen. And it's just been, you know, blessing after blessing slash, things have just been falling our way, but it comes down to that perseverance. If we not on that path doing what we're supposed to be doing, and making sure we making stuff happen, those situations aren't gonna fall in our
Yeah.
lap.
And that's why
Mhm.
I kind of want to ask you, like, your reaction to hearing that they found out and they let it go. Was your immediate reaction was like it's kind of like a reflex, like, oh, well, we're prepared for this kind of thing, And that's what it comes back to the timing. Did you feel like, oh, well, that's fine because we got this?
I definitely had to work through it in my head. You know what I'm saying? Like at first, I'm like, it caught me off guard just from the point of view of like you don't expect it. You know what I mean? But pretty much, I'm like, all right, we already got a lot of the supplies, like damn near everything for the salon. You know what I'm saying? She has her license. She has the I don't know if it's technically a permit or whatever, but she has the ability to still continue to do nails even if it's traveling at a different location, like. So I'm like, all right, so how are we gonna make it happen? And I told her, hey, we have the business bank account, and I was like, hey, take this, go get everything that you need. She got everything that she needed. We were, man, that day was crazy though, because we were
Mhm.
basically all day.
Yeah.
She found that out around 9:30 in the morning, and we ain't stopped until like 12:30 that night. You know what I'm saying? Just preparing to let her be able to continue seeing her clients and make sure that we're gonna be good in the meantime. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And everything just worked out. But I'm saying it worked out, letting you know that we were all day long working. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
It ain't just work out. We made it
You
work
worked it
out.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we made it so that the next day we were set up and ready to go. And she's already like in her full routine, and it's like nothing ever happened. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
she's just ready to open the new spot as soon as, the last couple steps are done. But it's a funny thing because, me being somebody that I don't have like a traditional job. It's like I have a business with my father-in-law, and now I have this business with my wife, and I'm just expanding into the idea of trying to get my hands in more things, just to be a little more connected to whatever I need, and just I'm just trying to elevate my way of thinking when it comes to how I make my money, and not being tied into one thing. You know what I'm saying? Because even
Mhm.
that whole situation let me know, like wow, we could really like just put our heads together and make something happen because of the freedom we already have in the fact that we don't work for anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So just operating from that point of view, and just the fact that we already just hard working. You know what I'm saying? We were able to make it happen.
And like you
And
said, just real quick, I'll let you
now go ahead.
finish. But like you were saying, working for somebody, and obviously Joe and I, we're both employees. You know what I'm saying? We're not knocking it, but working for somebody, that situation or something similar to that would have taken minimum 2 to 3 weeks, and that's you going home, getting an interview tomorrow, getting the job, going through the hiring process, just for you to get back on track of getting a paycheck. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you said in the beginning, this happened Tuesday and it's Thursday evening. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
even that flexibility is dope within itself.
Yeah, and
For sure.
even I was just even happy that I was able to kind of pivot my day and kind of push whatever I had to do that day to the next day so that I could help her out. Like even just the fact that I didn't have a regular gig, it made me available to help her out to figure out her things so that we can prepare for the next day. and it kind of went off without a hitch in both cases. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, this whole thing is not specifically just about working for yourself or starting a business or whatever. It's just about persevering and making it work for you and making sure that you got a plan so that while you're working towards it, when the time comes, you're ready for it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know plenty of people that just for whatever reason, I'm not gonna lie, it's not plenty of people. I can only honestly think about like 2 or 3 people off the top of my head, but I know a couple of people that they just get opportunities, bro. Like it always just falls in their lap. They might go to the gas station or something, that like things that I've seen. It's like they go to the gas station, somebody sees them. Hey, I like your shoes. Hey, you looking for a job? I got this gig over here, you know, related to what you like. And it's like, what the heck? Like, you think those things only happen in the movies or whatever, but I know like a couple people that I see that kind of stuff happening to them and see them just not follow through and not give it any importance, and just see them kind of just in the same cycle and not noticing these opportunities are there. It's just you ain't working, bro.
Yeah, no, that's facts. I mean, I think we all kind of see that in, you know, our own kind of ways as far as people that we deal with, and it tells you a lot about a person and their character. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying everybody should be as driven, I feel like, as the three of us are, but at the same time, you know, I feel like all of us are kind of, you know, eager for opportunities like that, and you know, we got to work like extra hard to get where we at. You know what I'm
And
saying?
honestly, I don't even think driven is the right word. I just feel like a lot of people, and it's something that happened with me in music that Freddie helped me kind of figure out. It's like, bro, you need to have a goal in this. You know what I'm saying? It's like you need to say, oh, I'm in music because of this, and I want this out of it. You know what I'm saying? Just even analyzing that, because like sometimes people imagine like their dream is like to be the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, and it's like, bro, that's not a plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not an idea. That's just a lofty aspiration that you have not worked towards. You know what I'm saying? It's something within certain people makes them feel like pretending like they want more is the thing they need to do instead of actually trying to have more. You know what I mean? It's like I've mentioned it before on the podcast, and it's a really big thing just in my life, bro. I hate being around people that just want to daydream, that just want to sit around and be in a circle and talk about things that don't even make sense. You know what I mean? It happens a lot in music too. You know, you record a song and people want to sit around and lay down the plot of $1 million music video. It's like, bro, we got $1,000 for this video. So are we gonna spend the next 3 hours talking about Justin Bieber, or are we gonna spend the next 3 hours figuring out what we can do in this immediate situation?
You know what I hate seeing is when I see the little post, you know what I'm saying, on social media or whatever, that's like, you know, 40 million cash or 20,000 for the every day for the rest of your life, and then you go and you see the comments, everybody's debating it, and it's just like, bro, like you really sitting here arguing about a daydream? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like the classic lotto conversation. You know, everybody's been in that situation where you're sitting around, somebody brings it up, and everybody, you know, somehow it turns into everybody sharing their thing. It's like, I never, ever, ever take part in that conversation, bro. It's like, I don't, it kind of goes back to something I heard a long time ago that I don't even know where I heard it from, but it stuck with me so much of like, you don't waste your own time talking to you don't waste your own time talking to somebody about something they can't help you with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to sit here and have a conversation with somebody and tell them my problems or do X, Y, and Z, whatever the case is. If it's not, if me talking is not going to help me move forward, I'm not going to entertain it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, of course, there's certain situations where you just vent and stuff like that, but you got to be, at least me, this is just my thinking of it, but you got to be selective, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to vent to 8 people in your life. You might vent to like 1 or 2 and make sure it's in the right context. You know what I'm saying? But you're not going to do that with every single person and then nah, bro. Like, the conversations you have with people, there should be forward progress in every conversation.
Mm-hmm.
If it's if it's forwarding your relationship, your friendship, your business relationship, if you're building trust, whatever it is, everything should be pushing you forward. Anything that's just there as a distraction, bro, like those conversations and these hypotheticals and all this. Oh man, if would you want $40 a minute, or would you want every one of your hairs to turn into a
Yeah,
penny?
for
Like,
real.
bro, shut your ass up.
Takes a lot of brain energy to really care about talking about something like that. And I
Yeah,
don't try to care about little shit like that.
yeah, it's like people get into this like, and it goes into like the AI and the what's it called, the virtual reality and stuff, like where people will talk, like you said, Quincy, they're arguing about that situation. It's a fake situation, and they put themselves in it and started creating more problems from the fake question. And now they're going back and forth trying to, bro, if you spent any of this time creative problem solving the real things that are going on in your life, you might actually
Cure
have to think
cancer.
about this question later. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
and it's like, it's the thing where not everybody got to be looking for, $1 billion, or it's not about, oh, you got to reach for like the ultimate, because I don't believe in that either. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody is meant to, only sleep 2 or 3 hours a night, because they're just spending all their other time, in the hustle and bustle of trying to make money and stuff. Like, some people, that don't fulfill them. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, we're in like a culture where it's like everything is, oh, get the bag, oh, it's money, oh, don't spend your time unless you're making money. And it's like, that's not the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is not about how you can make a dollar, especially when, you know, it's not something that's gonna get you to any kind of enlightenment or any kind of place where you feel like you're complete just because you got some money.
Right. And you can't take it with you.
Facts. I always think about the Nas line, man, and I think it was in Nas's, like, where he's like just talking about like the pharaohs in Egypt and stuff, like you talking about you can't take it with you. It's like rich men died and tried, but none of it worked. They just robbed your grave. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, regardless of what you think, like, these dudes literally had their whole, people and slaves to build their freaking shrine after they died, and so they can be buried with all their stuff. And all they did was just come through. After, who's gonna stop them? You in
Get
there
jacked.
dead. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it's something like, to me, that's real. It's like real. It's like a real pollutant to me. You know what I'm saying? Like drowning your mind in money. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you really break it down, it's literally just your that's just your daily bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just another thing that has become the thing that you're basically chasing to sustain yourself. You know what I mean? Like, your instinct to survive is replaced. Like, most people don't think about how they get, like, oh, I'm hungry. They think I need to get money and then buy food. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't really think about it like from the point of view they're just hungry. They're just thinking about, oh, I need money so I can buy food. And
Right.
it's like, replace that, like, you know what I'm saying? It's replace that instinct in us. And now we're in that place where it's like everything is about money. Everything, oh, don't do nothing for free. And it's like, like 99% of the people I know that have made it always got into something for free, because it's like they understood that if you don't have nothing to offer, and you're getting the offering in the situation, money's not the main thing.
Right. Right.
So many
Preach.
people cut themselves off because everything got to be a home run. You know what I'm saying? Even like with the business thing, like, that's something that's really opened my mind. And shout out to my boy Jay. He actually like was the one that really introduced this to me like a few years ago, where it's like, bro, you don't have to look at every situation like you got to hit a home run and make, 10 times a return or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff you do is going to, you're going to double up. Some of the stuff you're going to triple up. Some of the stuff you just going to make 10%. You know what I'm saying? It's all income. As long as you're not wasting your time and energy, like so much time and energy on the stuff that's not bringing you such a return, as long as the time put in matches what you're getting out of it, do it. You know what I'm saying? you don't always got to just, hit a home run and make $1 million from the one thing you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to happen for a lot of people. That's why those stories are 1 in a million.
Yeah,
That's
facts.
why these stories make it to that level. That's why you're hearing about it, because it's not common.
Mm-hmm. No, big facts, big facts.
Yep, it's something everybody got to analyze for sure.
Yeah, and then it's just gonna wrap it up with this. It's like, I'm gonna reiterate that it's not only about, working for yourself, or, oh, I'm doing X, Y, and Z to, nah, everything at the end of the day is, what is your intention, what is your end goal, and how do you make the things in your life equal that? You know what I'm saying? I feel like the only thing that everybody can really take away from what I'm talking about is, try to live beneath your means, so that you're not having to fund a lifestyle. You actually could fund your future. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need to be having everything all crazy right now. If you can pull back on that a little bit to be able to, basically fund your dreams, or fund whatever's going to really make you happy. You know what I'm saying? We talked about it last time too. It's like, I don't want a whole bunch of stuff sitting here. You know what I'm saying? I want things that are going to add to my overall happiness, the quality of my life, my future, my kids' future, my wife's future. You know what I'm saying? Everything is not about just having stuff, like, and that goes back to the money thing. It's like, you got to disconnect your stuff from that.
No, facts.
It's a good message.
But yeah, Quincy, I know that you've been kind of going through a similar situation in like the opposite side of the coin, but it's the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's funny because it's like you said, it's the opposite side of the coin. You're speaking from, more of an entrepreneur kind of mindset, and I'm speaking more from a climbing the corporate ladder kind of mindset. And for me, just to kind of, in a nutshell, my situation is basically, I've been with my company for about 3 years, and I've made a few moves within the organization, but nothing too major. But my position that I'm in now and where I sit, I see things a lot different because I'm not down here, I'm up here. Even though the pay hasn't jumped that high, you know what I'm saying? But my position, I can see a little different. And one of the things that I'm seeing is that the company I'm with just has a lot of DEI issues. A lot of the people at the top, they don't look like me. They don't look like you, Joe. I mean, they might look like you less, but way lighter.
Yeah.
But nah, you know what I'm saying? Like they just they promote who they want to promote, and those people get the opportunities. And I've been with the organization for about 3 years now. I've gone for a promotion 5 times, and every time I get some BS excuse of why I didn't get it or whatever. And but they always want like my presentation or my PowerPoint because I'm always putting them on game from things that I've learned in my experiences. And so long story short, I just got kind of fed up with the last situation because I kind of got was dealing with a lot of bull, and so I started looking for another job. And I don't spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, but when I'm looking for another job, I'm on LinkedIn. And I'm on there often. And so I just happened to be scrolling one day, and I saw that my company has a partnership with Rasmussen University. And
I looked that shit up the other day too.
Yeah, and I tell you this, 2 weeks ago, had I seen that, I would have kept scrolling. I wouldn't have, my attention wouldn't have, been triggered at all. But because I was so fed up and so pissed off, and the couple of opportunities that I was receiving didn't make sense for me to leave. One thing I will say is my job does offer a great amount of flexibility, which allows me to do my music the way I've been doing my music. So, I'm not going to take that from them. But as far as growth opportunities, I didn't go to school and get in debt and get my master's to sit where I'm at for the rest of my life. Like, that's just not why I went to school. However, they have a partnership with Rasmussen University where basically I can go back to school. 1 second. Okay, my bad. So however, I basically noticed that they have a partnership and they will pay for my education for me to go back to school. You know what I'm saying? Because of the situation that I have with my current employer, it would be free schooling, and I would get my master's in human resources management
You
for
gotta get
free.
good grades though.
Yeah, of course, but I mean that's not an issue for me no more. It
Yeah,
used
yeah,
to
for
be.
sure.
It used to be, but I'm a much better student now. But
Oh no, I'm
um,
just saying like I had tuition reimbursement too, but it's like you got to get good grades to get that full repayment.
oh yeah, for sure. I my last like 6 months or a year of my last program, I had to do the same. But
Yeah.
basically, the way I see it, and and it's crazy, like just with alignment and the timing of everything, because I reached out to the school on Friday and on set up an appointment on Tuesday to same day, let's say on Tuesday, to talk to the advisor about it, and excuse me, and they requested my transcripts. They let me know that as long as I met a certain GPA, and I met the requirements that I'm most likely get in. By that evening, I got the acceptance letter, and I'll be starting this program next week. I'm actually was doing the orientation before I got on this call, and so it's just the timing of it is crazy. It'll take me a year to complete, and I'm just gonna, tuck my head for the next year and do what I gotta do. And like, like Denzel said, hey man, they may not, give me the promotion, but I'm leaving here with something. I'm leaving here with something. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm gonna do what I gotta do, get this up out of them, and then we'll see what looks like for the next year. But it's just being able to reposition and kind of change my mindset. Because like I said, 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have even stopped. I got, what I'm saying, I did what I had to do in school. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have even considered it. But at this point, it's like, why not? You know what I'm saying? If it's free, why not? Plus, I ain't got to pay my student loans for the next, year and a half. So
Yeah, it pushes it
why not?
off, right?
Yeah, man. It's just, learn how to reposition yourself. You know what I'm saying? Utilize your resources that you got in front of you and make the situation work for you as best as you can. Because, at the end of the day, a lot of people talk about, their jobs, and like they may work their way up. They may be a director or CEO or whatever. But at the end of the day, bro, even if you're the man at the top, even if you're not the owner, bro, you're still working for somebody and you're still being used. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure that situation works for you at the end of the day.
Okay,
And it's
100%.
yeah, it's the idea that you're you're setting yourself up for a bigger leap. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's that slingshot effect. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have easily just made a lateral move just
Mm-hmm.
out of anger. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have just said, you know what, forget these people. I'm gonna go this way, and hopefully work my way up over here. But you said, nah, let me, like you said, I'm gonna come away with something. I'm gonna build myself up, build my resume, and whatever that next step is, it's gonna be better than this one.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And it's so easy for people to just make those lateral moves out of like spite, or just, because they feel in a certain type of way. I'm just, oh man, I'm out of here. Forget y'all. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
it's like, you know, and it goes back to like a big thing that's come up lately, just because of the situation that I've been talking about, with people in my own life, that they kind of get this kind of, I don't know if maybe I'm putting off the vibe or something, but like I get this kind of like, oh, like, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to make stuff happen and everything like that. And it's like, that's not the point of what I'm saying. It's as long as you're coming from the mindset of knowing how important your life is to you, and just knowing, yo, this is my daily situation, how can I make it the best situation that I can? As long as you're
Mm-hmm.
doing that, you winning. You know what I'm saying? For some people, it's in a job. For some people, it's being an entrepreneur. For some people, it's not even doing either one. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just so many ways to attack it, and everybody, like we always talk about, everybody just got different ways of thinking and ways of doing things. That it's just like, do what you got to do. As long as you ain't hurting nobody and you moving in that forward motion, make it happen. And like I said, it's like, because I use the shout out to Freddie again. I use an analogy with him, like, sometimes I'm going up to Georgia to like see Quincy or something, and I'll pass by like a little small house, like in the corner in the middle of nowhere, and the house might be a little beat up, and I'll think to myself, like, dang, like imagine that person, like, imagine living there, and then your mind is closed off to the idea that the world is bigger than this. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm not saying that you can't just live there and be happy. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Some people's minds are open, but that's their happiness. You know what I'm saying? As long as you keep it real with yourself and you live into the best of your own life and ability, at the end of the day, you're the one that's living it. That person in that little, house that I look at as rinky dink might be infinite times happier than me, and happier than I'll ever get to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You just never know. It's not judging the situation just based off that. It's just the literal geographic part of it is what sets me off. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dang, imagine if you're just in this small town and you just never think that you can leave. You know what I'm saying? And there's plenty of people that are also just trapped in that mindset. Like, they just don't think that they can, like, they see a place on TV and they just can't even imagine themselves ever getting to that place, not knowing it's literally you just make arrangements to go and you go. You know what I'm saying? Even like certain people, like me and Quincy was laughing because like something came up on a popular page in the city about like certain people doing stuff, and it's like, bro, like if you take a picture somewhere or in front of something, like that's all you did. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't do anything. You're just showing that you went to that place. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily a move. Like, it's literally a move, and I hope you had a good time, but it doesn't mean that you did something. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like the whole thing about daydreaming and stuff too. It's like, what are you actually, like, how are you actually moving your feet forward to make stuff happen? And it
Yeah,
don't
everybody's
gotta be
working towards
starting a
something, man.
business. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's working towards something for sure. And it depends if you're sitting there working for it or you're hoping it comes to you, is how the outcome turns out. And that's how you relate to people who are just working as hard as you to strive to get what they want.
Yeah, and I'm always just like, it's always funny to me the idea that there's people out here that think other people should just care about their quality of their life. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, everybody's living their own life. Nobody cares about what you got going on. Like, you got to make it happen. You got to push the issue. You got to be the one to say, hey, like, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care what you want to do with your stuff, but for me, this is what I need, and this is how it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't find that in the situation you're in, you need to figure out how to make it happen or how to put yourself in a different situation.
Precisely.
But yeah, man, this thing, the way things have been like unfolding in the last like 6 months or so since we've been kind of doing this salon thing, it just really like opened my eyes and just helped me realize how I can utilize certain things, how I can really, like I said, I'm always very focused on making my world the way that I want it to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care what you got going on in yours, like as far as like outside people, whatever makes you happy, that's cool. I'm glad it makes you happy, but I'm here looking for what makes me happy. You know what I'm saying?
Felt it.
Real talk.
Real talk. But yeah, man, it's been like I said, man, it's been a heavy week. Even before that, the energy's been heavy, not in a bad way, but just all of us have
There's a lot going on for sure.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely one of those times in life where there's like a lot of things and ups and downs and challenges that are coming, and it's just dope to see like everybody that I'm around like handling. And again, shout out to Freddie one more time, and I'm gonna kind of wrap up what I'm saying with this, but like, Freddie was like, man, I don't even really consider like people that don't think that way. Like, he's like, man, I didn't even think about the fact that there's people that, take things to heart and have hard feelings over stuff and harbor certain type of emotion because maybe you told him no one time. He's like, he just don't operate like that. So he don't even think like, damn, I might have made somebody mad, over something that's not even a real thing. It's just them taking it to heart. You know what I'm saying? And you got to remember that, man. Like, people ain't doing stuff to you. You know what I'm saying? This is your life. You're doing stuff to yourself. You're in control.
Big facts. Man, I ain't gonna lie, Les, we haven't signed off with this in a while, but man, let people know what you got going on, man. You got a little couple of things going on this next couple of months or this next month. As far as drops.
Oh yeah. My bad. I almost forgot, man. But so I got a new song dropping July 14th called Friend Zone. I'm really excited about that one. Different vibe. Still, it's still what you like from me, but it's definitely a different vibe, a lot of energy. I've been wanting to do a track like that. And shout out to the homie man Maku. He reached out to me from Mexico. He heard I think Dear Mary Jane and he liked it, and we just been working a lot of the Spanish stuff y'all heard. I mean, all the
Yeah,
Spanish
dope
stuff y'all heard
collabs.
from me. He's been the one doing it. And shout out to Unk. He just made this like dancey club type of record. You know what I'm saying? The R&B dance type vibes, and we just cooked it up. And I thought of Maku right away just because he got that vibe, you know what I'm saying? And he's been like getting me in that zone with the way he's been doing his mixes and the type of production he's been sending me. So it just came together super dope. And then July 28th, shout out to the homie Jamed, man. I got a collab dropping called Hoopty with Jamed that we actually recorded a couple years ago. I met him when I went out to LA for Psy. Matter of fact, shout out to Psy. He had a video shoot with Jamed, a joint that they did together. They shot that in LA. Y'all make sure y'all go check that out. It's called Andale. Super dope. Sai No Lie and Jamed. But, I've just been kind of holding this record just because this one and a couple other ones that I actually got that aren't ready to drop yet, but they're going to be dropping real soon. I'm super excited. But, like, I've just been trying to get the situation right for certain songs because I got certain songs that I know need a certain kind of treatment and I need to do them a certain way. And at the time, I just wasn't at that level yet, but now it's that time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really like, right now I'm going into like my peak music season, like for the end of the year, and I'm gonna drop a whole bunch of dope stuff. So definitely be looking out for that.
Full grind mode.
Yes, sir.
Facts. Who's next?
Cool, man. Who's next? Yeah, man, I got a few drops myself, man. July is actually gonna be a pretty busy month for me, music wise, man. I got throwbacks, which I recorded a couple years ago. Sat on it for a while, made a couple of tweaks to it. That one's actually dropping at midnight tonight. I got Missing with Ty O. He actually was featured on that Perfect record with me and Lester. That's dropping tonight as well. Got Bigger Things coming out on the 14th of July. And then Ain't My Homies dropping on the 21st of July. And then I got more stuff lined up for August, September, October, man. I got some stuff rolling out, man. And it's just exciting, man, because, to be able to kind of keep the consistency going, that's always a good feeling, man. I feel like, the single drop thing has been the most productive I've been with the music thing for a while. And I got 3 projects out, including ours. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's exciting to see the progress.
You also have?
Guys, as for me, I got Mo Butter to stay with.